I am on a journey back through time. Architecture, medicine and writing, the benchmarks of civilization. Many theories have been put forward to try and explain the riddle. None of this happened overnight, so where did all this knowledge come from?
You know, when we talk about the discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb, it's like we're diving into one of the most thrilling chapters of Egypt's past. Picture this. It's 1922 and Howard Carter, this British archaeologist bankrolled by Lord Carnarvon, hits the jackpot in the Valley of the Kings. He finds KV 62, Tutankhamun's tomb, and it's almost like they just left the place. Unlike most royal tombs, which were pretty much empty shelves thanks to centuries of looting, this one was jam-packed. We're talking a gold treasure trove giving us a front row seat to the new kingdom's burial fanfare. The stuff Carter unearthed is mind-blowing. Over 5,000 items. Imagine walking into a room filled with golden chariots, thrones, weapons, and then, bam, you see this golden sarcophagus with the most iconic gold mask ever. That mask, man, it's not just some fancy accessory, it's like looking at the sun, a symbol of the pharaoh's power and divine status. And the tomb wasn't just about bling. It had loads of everyday stuff too, like wood and textiles, giving us a real taste of life during Tutankhamun's time. Now let's zoom in on some of the most mind-blowing stuff in there. First up, there's this solid gold coffin right where King Tut's mummy was chilling. It's not just any old gold box. This thing's decked out with the works that think intricate designs, a traditional headdress, a ceremonial beard, and get this, it's studded with lapis lazuli. That's like the VIP pass in the ancient gem world. It's not just for show though. These symbols and deities on the coffin are a direct hotline to the Egyptian afterlife beliefs. Then there's the showstopper, the gold mask. This isn't just a mask, it's a statement. Crafted from gold and inlaid with colored glass and precious stones, it's the face of ancient Egypt, literally. It's got this serene look, capturing the essence of what it meant to be a pharaoh. Don't even get me started on the thrones. There's this one throne, a gilded wooden number featuring Tutankhamun and his queen, Ankhesenamun. It's like an ancient love seat, but royal style, with detailed carvings and inlays. It's a sneak peek into the royal love life back then. Now, for the warrior in Tut, there are these archery bows and trumpets. They're not just well-preserved antiques, they're symbols of his role as a hunter and warrior. Think about the craftsmanship that went into making these. It's like ancient Egypt's version of high-tech gear. And then there's this lotus chalice made of alabaster. The lotus in their culture was a big deal. It meant creation, rebirth. So this wasn't just a fancy cup, it was a symbol of life's cycle. Of course, there's more chariots, shields, a royal seal, even clothes and jewelry. Each piece is a puzzle piece in understanding what it was like to be King Tut. And the jewelry, oh man, it's not just bling. It's full of religious and protective mojo. So, what's all this worth? Sure, there's a price tag. The gold mask alone is worth over $2 million. But honestly, can you really put a price on a time capsule like this? It's like holding a piece of history in your hands. This tomb, it's more than a burial site. It's a gateway to understanding a civilization that's been intriguing us for millennia. Now here's the kicker. This find didn't just fill up a museum. It reignited our love affair with ancient Egypt. People went nuts over everything Egyptian, a phenomenon we call Egyptomania. And let's give Carter some credit. The guy was a trailblazer in how to do archaeology right, detailed, careful, making sure nothing got lost in the shuffle. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Keeping these treasures safe and sound has been a bit of a headache. They're old, delicate, and need a lot of TLC. Luckily, you can still see many of these jaw-dropping pieces, including the star of the show, the gold mask at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. It's like a magnet pulling in folks from all over the globe, all eager to peek into a world that's been gone for millennia. Picture this. It's 2009 and Terry Herbert, just your average guy with a metal detector, is roaming around a field in Staffordshire, England. He's got his detector humming and beeping, and then bam, he hits the jackpot. He starts finding bits of gold. Not just any gold, mind you, but pieces that scream history. He knows he's onto something big, so he calls up Duncan Slark from the Portable Antiquities Scheme. And just like that, we're on the verge of one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in recent times, the Staffordshire hoard. So the experts jump in and they start this mega excavation. They're digging, sifting, and recording everything super carefully. Imagine them mapping out every inch of the field, treating each piece they find like a piece of a giant, precious puzzle, and the picture they're putting together is nothing short of extraordinary. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. They find over 3,500 items, that's right, 3,500 pieces of Anglo-Saxon gold and silver. It's like they've stumbled into an ancient warrior's dream stash. The stuff they're pulling out of the ground isn't your average old metalwork. We're talking sword pommels, bits of helmets, all kinds of war gear with some serious craftsmanship. This hoard isn't just a random collection of shiny things, it's telling us a story, and it sounds a lot like it's straight out of a legend or an epic poem. These pieces might have been trophies from battles, maybe payments to mercenary warriors, or even offerings to some long-forgotten deity. And the fact that they're all broken and torn apart, that just adds to the mystery. It's like they were ripped off weapons and armor as souvenirs from some ancient battlefield. This hoard, dug up in 2009, is not just any old stash of metal. It's predominantly gold and silver, shining a light on the kind of wealth and status these guys were rolling in. But wait, there's more. They also threw in some garnet, glass, and other fancy materials for their inlays, adding some serious bling to the mix. Now the sword pommels in this hoard, they're something else. There's a whole bunch of them, and each one is like a unique piece of art. These weren't just lumps of metal on the end of a sword, they were intricately designed with animal patterns weaving in and out, and even some Christian symbols popping up here and there. It's like a mashup of old-world paganism and the new Christian vibes sweeping through at the time. And the way they're made, with garnet and glass intricately fitted together, it's a testament to how skilled these Anglo-Saxon metalworkers were. But hold on, the cool stuff doesn't stop there. The hoard's got fragments of helmets, think cheek guards, crests, decorative plates, and these pieces are as fancy as they come. They remind me of the Sutton Hoo helmet, another epic Anglo-Saxon find. It's like each piece is telling a story of battles and kings. And then there are the crosses. These aren't just religious symbols, they're a clue to how Christianity was weaving its way into Anglo-Saxon England. These crosses were probably used for private devotion. Imagine holding one of these gold and gem-encrusted crosses in your hands, thinking about the big guy upstairs. But wait, there's even more. The hoard's got all sorts of odds and ends. Gold strips that might have come from sword hilts, jewelry, bits and pieces that would have been strapped onto armor. Some of these items have inscriptions in Latin or runic script, which is like having a direct line to the thoughts and languages of the time. It's 1947, and a Bedouin shepherd is just minding his own business in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea. He stumbles upon these old scrolls, and little does he know, he's just hit the archaeological jackpot. These aren't just any scrolls, they're the Dead Sea Scrolls, a treasure trove of ancient wisdom. This accidental find leads to more digging, and before you know it, from 1947 to 1956, they've uncovered hundreds of manuscripts and thousands of fragments in 11 different caves. It's like they've uncovered a hidden library from the distant past. Now let's talk about what's actually on these scrolls. They're mostly written on parchment, some on papyrus, and there's even one on copper. That's some serious variety in ancient writing materials. The texts are primarily in Hebrew, with bits in Aramaic and a dash of Greek. What's really cool is they include fragments of nearly every book of the Hebrew Bible, except Esther, along with some apocryphal stuff and writings about a Jewish sect from the Second Temple period. It's like we've found a time capsule from an era that's crucial to understanding the roots of both Judaism and Christianity. The real kicker here is that these scrolls are the oldest copies of the Hebrew Bible we've ever found, dating from way back in the 3rd century BC to the 1st century AD. They offer a glimpse into the diversity of religious thought during the Second Temple period, like getting a backstage pass to early religious practices and beliefs. For scholars, these scrolls are pure gold. They've been instrumental in studying how the Hebrew Bible was put together and understanding the early history of Judaism. But it's not just about what's written on them. Their age and rarity have made them super valuable, with individual scrolls valued at up to $20 million. That's a lot of zeros for some ancient parchment. Preserving these scrolls has been a massive effort. They're incredibly fragile, so there's been a big push to digitize them for both preservation and study. You can even see many of them on display at the Shrine of the Book in Jerusalem, bringing this ancient world to the public. The Dead Sea Scrolls are more than just ancient texts. They're a bridge between the past and present, and as always, we hope you enjoyed our video today.